All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle one of the toughest hurdles any trader faces, that huge leap from a practice account to trading with your own real money. This is where all the practice runs headfirst into reality, and that's exactly what we're breaking down today.
And this quote, man, it just nails why that jump is so incredibly difficult. It's not about the charts, it's not even about the strategy. It's about that raw, intense emotion that hits you when you win, and especially when you lose real cash. That feeling, it changes absolutely everything. So let's start at the beginning, where pretty much every single trader begins, the demo account. It's the perfect training ground. It's the sandbox where you can try anything and you can't get hurt. So you've put in the hours, right? Weeks, maybe even months. You're tweaking your strategies, your timing feels on point, and that win rate, it's looking pretty darn good. You feel like you finally cracked the code. You think, I'm ready for the big leagues. But then you fund a live account. And just like that, the entire game feels completely different. Now, the rules haven't actually changed, but it sure feels like somebody rewrote the rulebook overnight. And this slide just cuts right to the heart of it all. Over on the left, you've got demo trading. It's clean, it's a consequence-free environment. It's all about logic, there's zero emotional weight. But then you look at the right side, live trading. Now your actual savings are on the line. And that's when fear, hesitation, all that stuff starts to creep in, just waiting to blow up your best laid plans. Let's be real about what this looks like. These are the psychological traps that snap shut the second real money gets involved. You see a perfect setup, but you hesitate. You score a couple of wins, and suddenly you feel invincible and get sloppy. You take a loss and immediately jump into another, probably bigger trade to win it all back. That's classic revenge trading. Or you finally catch a winning trade and you cut it way too short because you're terrified of giving back a single cent. Does any of this sound familiar? So here's the absolute key takeaway. The market itself, the charts, the price action, it has no idea you exist. It doesn't care if you're trading with monopoly money or your life savings. The only thing that actually changes in this whole equation is you. The fight isn't with the market, it's with yourself. Okay, so if the battle is internal, how do we win it? Well, it's not about finding some magical new indicator. It's about building an ironclad discipline. It's about creating a process that literally protects you from your own worst emotional instincts. And these 3 habits are your starting blocks. First, start treating your demo account like it's 100% real. No more million-dollar joke trades. Use the exact same position sizing and risk rules you're going to use when you go live. Second, journal everything. And I don't just mean the numbers. Write down how you felt. Were you anxious? Were you bored? Overconfident? That's data on yourself, and it's priceless. And number 3, this one's the big one. Focus on the process, not the profit. Your goal is to execute your plan perfectly. The money, that's just a byproduct of a solid process. Now, a solid mindset is crucial, but it has to be paired with some solid mechanics. So let's talk about the kinds of tools the pros use to take all that guesswork and emotion out of managing their risk. First up is something called the average true range, or ATR. And honestly, this is a total game changer. It doesn't predict which way the market's going to go. Instead, it tells you how much it's moving. It's a pure measure of volatility. A high ATR means big, wild swings. A low ATR means things are quiet. This is objective data you can build concrete rules around. So, how do you actually use it? Well, this slide shows a couple of really powerful ways. Instead of just guessing where to put your stop loss, you can base it on the market's actual volatility. You use a multiple of the ATR. This means your risk adapts to the market's current conditions, not just your gut feeling. And scaling out, that's taking partial profits while a trade is moving in your favor. This is just psychologically brilliant. Why? Because it immediately reduces your risk, it builds the healthy habit of taking money off the table, and it can even get you into what's called a risk-free trade. That's where you've locked in enough profit that you literally can't lose money, even if the trade completely reverses. I mean, think about what that does for your peace of mind. All right, so you're building your discipline, you've got some smart tools for risk, but there's another layer to this whole game. It's a much more strategic level that, frankly, most retail traders have no idea even exists. Now, think about this for a second. Have you ever felt like the market is personally out to get you? Like it moves down, hits your stop loss to the exact penny, and then immediately reverses and goes in the direction you predicted? What if that's not just a coincidence? Yeah, there's a name for that. It's called stop loss hunting. You see, the huge institutions, the whales, they know exactly where all the retail traders are placing their stop loss orders. It's usually in really obvious places, like right below a key support level.
so they can intentionally push the price down into that zone, trigger a massive cascade of sell orders, and then use all of that selling, all of that liquidity to fill their own gigantic buy orders at a fantastic price. So how do you stop being their bait? Well, for starters, stop being so predictable. Don't put your stop loss right at a big round number or just below an obvious low. Give it a little breathing room. Maybe use that ATR we just talked about. You have to understand that these super sharp, fast moves are often designed specifically to shake you out, and they tend to reverse just as quickly once the big players have gotten what they came for. And this really brings us to the ultimate shift in mindset. Look, your job is not to be a fortune teller. It's not to be right on every single trade. That's impossible. Your goal is simply to have a strategy with a small statistical edge over the long run, and then to execute that strategy like a machine, with zero emotion and zero deviation. So how do you build that machine-like routine? Believe it or not, professional trading firms use exercises just like this one. It's called the coin toss exercise. It sounds crazy, I know, but here's how it works. Heads, you go long. Tails, you go short. You use a fixed profit target and a fixed stop loss. The outcome of the trade doesn't matter at all. The entire point is just to practice the physical act of execution, placing the trade, the stop, the target over and over and over, until it's just pure muscle memory, completely detached from any kind of emotion. And that, right there, is the ultimate goal. The journey from being a demo account hero to a disciplined, profitable trader isn't about finding some secret strategy. It's about building a process that is so solid, so routine, so automatic, that emotion simply has no place to get in and mess things up.